So, following my detailed review of the S22 Ultra, quite a few of you mentioned comments similar to this. So here's a side-by-side camera comparison of the hottest flagships currently, the S22 Ultra versus the iPhone 13 Pro Max and the Huawei P50 Pro. We're going to start the video with a bit of a blind test comparing the three of them as A, B, and C. I'll share which is which in the video, and to begin with, all of them do well with ultra wide shots, with A being much more natural than the other two. The colors are slightly muted here, which is actually how they appeared to the eye at this time of the morning. When we start zooming in at 3x though, you'll start to see more details in B that just lack a little in A. It's not a major difference, but on close inspection, it's certainly noticeable. Then when we get zoom at 10x to keep them consistent, here B and C do a much better job with details and accuracy, down to the fact that they both support 10x zoom optically in a way that A simply doesn't. Think you can guess which one is which now, right? So here are the results. I certainly admire ultra wide and to a level 3x with the iPhone, but it just can't keep up with the S22 Ultra or the P50 Pro when you start zooming in past 1x, particularly at 3x, and very noticeable at 10x. Now another look, see if you can guess which is which. B looks like it's doing a better job than A and C at 1x shot. It balances the sun out better without it washing out majority of the picture in the middle. There is a flare that's noticeable in A, and C looks like the sun takes up more space in the middle of the shot. Now, surprised by the results? I certainly was, given that the S22 Ultra and the P50 Pro should give more clearer shots, as on paper, the number of both their main cameras should be better than the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Alright, let's try portrait now. So mixing it up again, I really didn't expect this. I tried multiple times to get this shot, but A was just struggling. It should do better, as I know it's performed better in other examples. Maybe it's the combination of the colors, the natural lighting that caused it just to break down, but it just failed here. So B does well, and so does C. Taking a look at 3x portrait, all three of them do a good job here, with A being on the cooler side compared with B and C. A certainly does a better job with my face here, especially the details and bokeh around my beard hair. Notice how C blurs it out, but B also does a good job. Now let's show you the front facing selfie from these three before I do share the results. A and C look good with nice automatic bokeh, but B hasn't really added that bokeh automatically. So time for the results. Surprised? I certainly was by the fact that the first portrait picture the S22 Ultra weirdly bugged out on. And again, I'm not sure if that's the lighting, the color, what exactly happened here. I know it can take some good portrait shots, but in this situation, with this particular shot, I don't know what happened. Now, night shots on all three have taken some really good images, with the S22 Ultra and the P50 Pro taking an edge here. Images are much more detailed, and the clarity with the iPhone 13 Pro is struggling. Even when zooming in during low light, the iPhone struggles. Which one would you say has the best low light shots from these three? Okay, so here is a test of the ultra wide capability on the video for both the S22 Ultra and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. As I move around, it'll give you an idea of how both of them perform. Remember, the S22 Ultra can film in 8K 24 frames, but for the purpose of this video, I'm filming all of these in 4K 60 frames per second to give you an idea of how smooth they are. Now, this is an example of the S22 Ultra at the main camera, or 1x, when compared with the Huawei P50 Pro. So again, as I move around, both of these are filming in 4K 60 frames per second to give you an idea of how they perform. So this is something that both the S22 Ultra and the Huawei P50 Pro have, and that is the ability to zoom in while filming. I can see on the screen in front of me, the Huawei P50 Pro does a much better job at those zoom levels. Where is it? There we go. Than the S22 Ultra in video. Certainly noticeable, as you can see over there. Alright, so here's an example of the front-facing selfie shooter on both the S22 Ultra and the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I do feel like the S22 Ultra does kind of overcompensate with the colors on the front-facing selfie camera when you compare them with the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The iPhone 13 Pro Max does struggle with the sun in the background, as you can tell there. It just looks much more washed out. Again, love to know your thoughts. Now let's compare the S22 Ultra with the Huawei. Okay, so here's an example of the front-facing selfie camera of both the S22 Ultra and the Huawei P50 Pro. Now what is interesting is the Huawei P50 Pro does have a wider angle that you can use for the front-facing selfie shoot. I actually prefer this, but if I was to bring it all the way down to 1x, which is what it is now, this will give you an example of how they both appear. And that there is a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on which camera system overall you felt did better in the comments below. Hit subscribe to be the first to see new videos, and check out this other video that I posted up. I'm Kwan, over and out. Peace and blessings.